allow me first to address my comments to the following people or sectors. First, to the Solicitor General and the NTC. To be clear, we take no offense with your legal opinion. Pinapahalagaan namin ang opinion nyo, even if it is contrary to the DOJ and both houses of Congress and to legal precedents. What we do object to and take serious offense with is the furtive manner by which you deliberately and maliciously undermine the authority of Congress. March 10 nagsalita na mabibigyan ng provisional authority. It was only on April 30 na sumulat ang Solgen sa NTC. It was only May 3 that he made the threats to NTC public. And when the investigation takes place, we have evidence that there was collusions with some private individuals to stir up, the basis for all of this. But the point is, Mr. Speaker, we can only act based on the best information we have. And when you come to Congress, especially if you are part of the government, we expect you to tell us the truth. And if you make a mistake or change your mind, we expect you to tell us right away so that we can remedy the situation. The NTC gave its testimony and commitment on March 10. If you had any objections, Mr. Solicitor General, why did you not communicate with Congress? Why choose to remain silent for close to 2 months and on the eve of the opening of Congress, come out with your threats to the NTC? As a fellow lawyer and government worker, we should be working together and not trying to bring each other down. The media establishment, let me address this to you, mga kapatid po natin sa media. I respect that you have a stand in calling for a hearing. Katulad po ng statement ng Senate media na mga kaibigan natin. I respect that you are calling us out for our failure to do this sooner. I even respect that some of you put the blame on me, on Alan Peter Cayetano personally. But when you blindly call for the approval of the franchise, without having heard all the sides of the story, then you show yourselves not as advocates of fair and balanced presentation of the facts, as is taught in all the schools that teach journalism, as journalists are sworn to. But you simply become plain and simple propagandists. Kung hiningi niyo po sa amin na mag-hearing at mag-action kaagad, nire-respeto namin yon. Pero hingin niyo sa amin, ipasa na lang namin, pikit mata. Kayo ba, papayag kayong may isulat kayo o may broadcast kayo na hindi kayo nagfa-fact check, kung ano na lang sabihin namin, yun na lang ilalabas nyo? Diba? Hindi journalism yan. So hindi po magiging tama ang desisyon ng Congress kung we will act speedily for the sake of acting speedily. And I cannot respect that. Do not weaponize this issue for your own personal agenda. This is a disservice to the very public in whose name you claim to stand for. Again po, hindi ko po sinasabing lahat, may iilan lang. Some may say that they are in the service of the Filipino people. Pero sa gitna ng sakuna, gusto nyo, kayo ang unahin namin kaso sa kababayan natin. Kayo nga isang dahilan kung bakit may mga issue ang network na ito . Sa mata ng marami, klarong bias at pakikialam sa eleksyon na bawal sa atin batas ang ginawa ninyo at ginamit nyo yung network na ito. 2004, 2010, 2016, 2019. Tapos tatakpan nyo yan by saying it is against press freedom. Hindi po natin nilalahat ang mga journalist. Ngunit tulad din ng pagpapakita ninyo na ang lahat ng politiko ay korap, na lahat ng pulis ay abusado, damay-damay na ang buong institusyon sa maling gawain ng ito. To the celebrities of ABS-CBN, yes, marami kayong fans dito sa Congress, But please be reminded that loyalty to the company that has given you a good life is important. But you cannot cry injustice and blame public servants when you lose your paycheck or your show, yet not take notice of the fact, yes, the fact, that there are grave issues against your network. These include alleged violation, again, alleged violations of labor laws, tax laws, and even constitutional law, even election laws. By all means, let your voices of support for your network be heard. By all means, sabihin natin sa kababayan ang mga magandang nagawa ng network. But if you really want to join the public debate, find it in your heart, find it in your indignation to also support due process and fact-finding as the issue is imbued with public interest, not just your interest. I understand it's hard for any employee to speak against the company that it serves. But there are employees who are speaking out against ABS. And this is the only time that they will be listened to. Every time na may 25-year franchise renewal, doon lang pinapakinggan eh. Yes, you have the courts, you have the labor arbiters, but how long does that take? And if it shows a pattern, hindi naman magde-decide ang labor arbiter about that eh. Di ba? Yung social justice po, kasama po yan sa franchise. Kasi public utilities po ito. Some of my colleagues, some lang po to. Yes, this bill is important, no question about that. But is it so important that you would lose all sense of objectivity and propriety? Again, is it so important that you will lose all sense of objectivity and propriety? How dare you belittle the tremendous work this Congress has done in the past 10 months? Shame on you for insulting your own house and colleagues and calling your colleagues inutil and tamad. To the senators, allow us to do our jobs. Remember, it is always easier to get 24 people to agree than for 300. Remember, we represent specific constituencies and sectors, and that is why the Constitution provides that franchise bills, like appropriations bills, will emanate from the House. But franchise bills enjoy the constitutional prerogative of exclusively emanating from the House. So we respect your work, but iba pananaw natin eh. National yung sa inyo, sa amin may national, pero nasa grassroots kami. Tinetext kami, pinupuntahan kami sa bahay, sa district office ng mga constituents namin. We want to work with you. We have to work with you. We've done great things together with you, our dear senators. We have to build our nation, but respect our timing and the manner of us holding our hearings. In other words, let's all play nice. Let's not just pretend to be nice to each other. Sa mga dilawan, nothing I say will make you agree with me. You don't even agree on the facts, simply because you think your opinions are law and are always correct. Former Senator Trillanes and you deserve each other. Kayo na lang mag-usap. Pero konting advice, and take it from me, don't disagree with him, papatayan kayo ng mic. Sa mga DDS o diehard Duterte supporters, I know you want to shut down ABS-CBN. Believe me when I say I hear you. Many in this August hall hear you. Congress hears you. As a friend and political ally of the President, part of the purpose of having this hearing is to make sure that history will judge our actions as just, na may hustisya po. And that the world will not blame the Duterte administration in case the franchise application is denied. So it's only by having these hearings where we will be able to justify to our people now and where history can look back and say, tama pala na binigay niyo yung franchise ng 25 years. Or mali pala dapat pala hindi nyo binigyan, o tama pala na hindi nyo binigyan. Or maybe some amendments to it, depending on what we find out during the hearings. I was the one who filed the application for a temporary restraining order and spoke against ABS-CBN during those crucial moments before the 2016 elections. I have not wavered that the network has to be held accountable. But true accountability can only flow from fair and thorough hearings. Lastly, to the management and employees of ABS-CBN, alam po namin na sa panahon ng COVID, marami po ang umaasa sa balita ng ABS-CBN. Hindi lang sa panahon ito, kundi sa iba pang mga sakuna at trahedya ng mga nagdaang taon. Nandun po kayo. Ngunit sa kabila ng lahat ng ito, kailangan pa ding sagutin ang mga katanungan ng mga tao. Ang konstitusyon sinasabi na kailangan ng renewal ng franchise. And this is the time to ask the questions. There's no question that you have been part of nation building, part of the Philippine history, part of who we are today. But as you yourself have said through your officers, you are not perfect. You are not a perfect network. And I agree. Why do I agree? Wala naman pong perfecto talaga, Diyos lang. No one is perfect. And that is why we need these hearings. If it is done properly, we will emerge stronger and unified, having laid to rest one of the most politically charged issues of our time. But to do this, we need everyone's cooperation, understanding, and open-mindedness.